done a great job. It's very localized, kind of regionalized right here, but we want to take a global approach, and we believe we can do that with the synergies that are happening in the world. We'll tell you more about it.
O sea, queréis hacer un club internacional.
Global.
Exactamente.
¿Cómo? ¿Con qué ideas o qué?
Ahora tenemos un rato para contarte.
Running the ball's like making romance. We've had the ball since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl chance. Yeah, I was a kid. So that was my first introduction into passion for this team. And I, along with millions of other Chicagoans, have that same passion. So to me, that's where it started. So I've always had this kind of like passionate resentment towards the rich club owners and the fact that they don't get scorecards and there's nothing you can do about it when they don't perform what they should. They should be performing for the fans.
We are a handball club in Madrid. And in Madrid, we have the problem that we compete with two monsters, Atlético de Madrid and Real Madrid. And we live in a city like Fuenlabrada that is 200,000 people. It's a big city, and we have to get the attention of the people in here. It's very difficult.
See, how many members do you have?
Now we have 1,000 of the capacity.
The total capacity?
Yeah.
Oh.
So one question, the stadium is ready to play in the second division then?
No. The public bid start when we promote.
Yeah.
Oh, the $6.5 million started.
But they gave you like a grace period to update the stadium.
Because you have to have the lighting, you have to have everything. Yeah, see? Actually, this is beautiful.
Now we are changing the grass, like you see.
Okay.
Hey, come here. Take a look at the grass. I would expect this to be much better. This is unacceptable, in my opinion. Now, it's what they have. If you want great soccer players to play, they need a really good surface. Hey, money can fix a lot of things, so we'll see. What's going on with your field? Your grass?
We are changing the grass.
You're changing it?
Yeah. It's growing up.
Oh, it's growing right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I take all what I said, I take all that back. You're growing it. If this is how it stayed, I was like, man, what is happening? Like, this is not good.
No.
Desde pequeña me gustaba el fútbol y empecé a ver el Barça y pues desde ese día soy fan. Me gustaría involucrarme, al menos para el diseño de las camisetas o si pudiera fichar a una jugadora, pues me gustaría en plan, participar. Creo que ser fan va mucho más allá que solo ir a ver un partido, sino es un sentimiento, yo creo. Al final lo vives con la gente, o sea, al final vienes aquí y estás con todos sois del Barça, lo vivís juntos. Creo que es eso.
I spent a lot of time in Costa Rica. You know, we do a lot for the community. Actually built 18 homes for the poor. We raise the funds in the United States, and we give our time, our energy, our love building a house. And the soccer team in the community actually needed financial infusion of capital, was a professional team in the second division, just dropped down to the third division, and my phone rings, and it's a person down in Costa Rica. Mike, can you come down, and would you be interested in buying the team? And I said, well, that's a big phone call. You know, there's only one guy that I want to do this with, Stefano Angeli. So I pick up my phone and I pop. Hey, Stefano, it's Mike.
Tengo una idea para contarte. Me están ofreciendo que nos hagamos cargo de un club en Costa Rica. Te quiero invitar a esta aventura conmigo. Pasamos 4 días metiéndonos a fondo en un club de tercera división en Costa Rica.
On the ground, we go to the stadium, we see their locker room, all the resources they have for physio, and it's not much. It's really not a lot.
Entonces dije, Mike, me parece que esto es una plataforma demasiado chica para hacer esto realidad. Tenemos que empezar a buscar algo nuevo. Me volví de Costa Rica y Enrico me dice, tengo estas ideas de cripto y fútbol, pero no sé cómo combinarlas, no sé cómo hacerlo. ¿Por qué no hacemos algo directamente más ambicioso, más grande? Y en lugar de hacer un negocio tradicional en Costa Rica o un negocio disruptivo en el fútbol en Argentina, hagamos un negocio disruptivo en el mundo del deporte en España, que es donde está la liga más competitiva del mundo.
Nos juntamos a cenar, le cuento un poco esta idea, él por supuesto la transforma y la lleva más allá, donde dice, che, pará, que conozco a Andrés y también lo conozco a Wolf, que puede ser el CEO.
Éramos 4, pero nos faltaba la figura del cero, nos faltaba la guía, el que empuja. Ahí logramos despertar todo este interés en Wolf, que se tomó su tiempo de evaluarnos y de ver si esto era lo que él estaba buscando, y finalmente se enamoró y se subió.
Y así empezó la historia de f2o.
Soy fan desde pequeña. Me hizo fan de mi equipo, mi padre, y luego mi hermana cuando ya fue más mayor, porque él siempre como que veía los partidos en casa, entonces al final pues tú también los ves en la tele y tal. Bueno, hace un año o así me puse a trabajar en el Camp Nou para poder ver los partidos así de forma más gratis, y básicamente lo que hago allí yo es en las salas VIP dejo entrar a la gente y pues las pulseras y tal, y luego durante el partido como que la sala cierra, puedes como ir al descanso y tal, y yo siempre salgo pues al estadio a ver el partido porque al final me encanta. A ver, es un poco trote por el camino que tengo que hacer, en plan desde casa, que vivo lejos hasta allí, pero vale la pena.
You said he has your mentality. Explain to me what that
To
mentality
understand
is.
the mentality of the club, you have to understand the history of the club. Born with the merge of two clubs, San Esteban and Fuenlabrada, the mayor of the city in 1975. He said the two clubs, and he said, you have 5 and you have 5. You merge the clubs, you have 10 for one club. And in this philosophy, born Fuenlabrada, you have to work more than others to get the same. You have to have the humility to work, but you have to be proud of what you are doing. When I was journalist, I covered the information about Real Madrid, and Mourinho is the trainer, the coach of Real Madrid. Some press conference, he say he don't have Higuain, and he have Benzema. But Benzema in that moment didn't score a lot of goals. A speech that I remember, if I don't have dog to go hunt, I go hunt with a cat. This is the mentality.
Yeah.
This is the mentality.
That's
I can cry because I don't have the facilities. No, I have that facility. Real Madrid have better facilities. You try to improve, but don't you use.
Don't cry with what you don't have.
Yes.
¿Dueña? Uf, a ver, hombre, si el Barcelona ganase y yo a la par también pudiese ganar dinero, pues sería ya el sueño, ¿no? O sea, estás feliz porque gana tu equipo y estás feliz porque ganas dinero, entonces ya, ¿qué más quieres? Si pudiese ser parte de las decisiones, sí que me involucraría, intentaría, que eso ya supongo es más difícil, poner los precios también más asequibles para la gente, ya pues eso, poder buscar algo más igualitario en el masculino y el femenino.
I was in Washington, D.C., visiting my family on the East Coast. We go get an Uber. And of course, I have to sit in the front seat. This woman is driving us, and she's sitting next to me, and I look over. She's covered head to toe in Washington Redskins / Commanders gear. Covered head to toe. She's an older woman, super sincere, super sweet. So I'm like, hey, it looks like you're a Washington Redskins fan, Commanders, sorry. And she's like, oh yeah, I love them. I love them. I've been a fan my whole life. I'm like, wow, good for you, I can tell. And she goes, that's why I drive this car. You drive Uber for them? She's like, no, she's like, that's why I drive. This is my second job because it pays for my season tickets. I go, so you're driving to pay for her season tickets? And I'm like, that's loyalty. That's fan. Yeah, and it also pays for 2 away games every year. And we start talking about stadiums. She's like, yep, when I'm there, I take notes. And I'm like, what do you take notes on? And she's like, the stadium, like things I like. I don't know, maybe someday we're gonna get a new stadium and, I'd like to know, maybe there's some cool things that I can see. And at that very moment is when I realized that this is exactly what we need to do. She's our demographic. She's the person that we're doing f2o sports for. This woman who's driving Uber as a second job to pay for a team that she supports to drive up that valuation for an owner who was horrible at the time. Snyder bought him for like $800 million back in the 90s. They just sold for $6.05 billion. And what have they done for any of their fans in the last 15 years? I would argue very, very, very little. And that is a shame. And that's not fair. And what value, when they sold, did she get anything from that? Because I guarantee you, it wasn't Daniel Snyder driving the valuation of that team up. It was the fans, the content that they consume. That moment was like, I gotta do this. We have to do this. Like, I don't care what it takes. We have to at least try. Something has got to change. We've got to decentralize how sports are run today and break the century-old traditional model and somehow give it back to the fans. That was it. That's my story.
Al Barça se le sigue, aunque llueva, truene, nieva, lo que caiga, un terremoto, lo que sea.
Ser fan, yo creo que es como vivirlo un poco con ellas. Si ellas ganan, pues tú estás feliz. Si ellas pierden, pues al final pues pierdes como con ellas. Es como ir al unísono con el equipo.
Vivir por y para el equipo, vaya. Apoyarlos en todo.
Facility, overall more modern. 2, Additional expansion, paid for by the city with no capital raise on their side and no equity taken. And then 3, ownership down has created this entrepreneur smart, startup mentality, and that feels good.
The culture that we heard that the team has here, that yesterday nobody talked about that, and they challenged us. That's like a startup approach, right? So how you are gonna do it, right? And I love that.
Todos los clubes que estamos viendo son muy tradicionales. Entonces eso es positivo para nosotros porque vamos a querer cambiar eso.
$6.5 million invested into this new stadium. That's terrific. These are players that know the game and have been in the battles.
They need us, and we could do something.
All right, good job, guys. Good job.
Bring it in.
We're gonna start the game. We start the game. We start the game.
There's a B there, dude.
We are starting the game.
We start the game.
I still love you for it. You sentimental man. I love it. I love it.